super extravagant stages. Nobody's running that on their PC. Let's make some simple stages that look beautiful.
We see a stage that's completely like white in the background and just a green cube in the middle. That's peak fighting game stages. So we don't need anything more, anything less. Just a decorative thing in the background that, you know, so you can look at it sometimes.
You know what? You're so right. Hey, bring back the grid. Why is there no grid in Guilty Gear Strive?
I don't know if I want the grid. I've seen too much of the grid.
You don't want to go back to the white padded room?
It'll take you back there. I'll go crazy from it.
But here we go. Dolomite spending that burst immediately. Doesn't want to get subjected to that Milia pressure. But gonna end up getting subjected to it anyways. Oh, not if...
Just like the real Tiger Pup, we also have the real Sonic Fox here.
Yeah, the real Sonic Fox. Well-known Milia player. Here we go.
They took the time from playing Joker and MK11 just to take a little break to, you know, brush off some of their Milia. You know, iconically no Milia.
Exactly. That closer is going to end up getting that win for, I was about to say Sonic Fox, for Vincent. Why do y'all have names that are different, well-known players? This is evil for a commentator. Anyways, a great side switch coming out from Vincent there. Dolomite not quite ready to block it, but Vincent not quite ready to confirm it. The 5P RC going to be able to get a conversion there, and the 6P to smoke that JS.
And Millie just has this pressure. She can keep up, you know? She's got that. She's got that skibbity. She's got the edge. She's got that Riz. She's got it all going to keep up with this Eno and take her out.
She certainly does have the skibbity and the Riz to keep up with Eno. I definitely agree with my co-commentator here, Daniel.
Yeah,
just
the Tio is mad at us. The Tio is mad at us.
I gotta say something. You all gotta force me to unmute the damn mic. I'm so sorry for these commentators. They are now has to exit stage left or wherever the fuck, because we don't do that here.
Listen. We just know what the FGC wants and needs for commentating.
Not this.
Exactly.
You know, Sonic Fox is here. We're just trying to show a good time. Speaking of Sonic Fox, they're immediately getting the rounds are really strong and taking out, you know, half their HP bar immediately. Amazing reaction time to the side as well.
To go straight over the stroke the big tree, but it doesn't matter in the face of an air throw. Great work from Dolomite. But these close mashes are coming through. Dolomite gets caught mashing, and now gets caught blocking low. The JD into the Bad Moon, able to get a kill for Vincent here. That's a big lead to work with. You do a burst lead here, and you have a life lead as well. Just so much air movement coming through, but Dolomite finally getting a hit, but, you know, the 6P going to nullify any of that advantage. RC for the full conversion. What's the mix? Goes double overhead. What's the mix here? Side switch. But that is going to put you straight into the corner. Dolomite's going to abuse that with the burst.
I almost like the full conversion there. I was waiting to see Millie's HP explode, but even with all that in mind, you know, cannot keep up with this Millie pressure. It's so fast, so deadly. You just cannot keep up with that.
Yeah, and I mean, Millie is just a character that if you let her get started, you're not blocking all of that. Like, a lot of people will say, oh, it's OSable, it's this, it's that. You're not doing it all. You're not doing it all.
There's no way. You could have 4,000 hours in Guilty Gear Strive. Sometimes you just ain't blocking that, you know, or a million mix. That's just a part of the game.
Exactly. And Vincent putting on a clinic, showing us all of the crazy stuff that Millie can get away with if she's allowed to. Dolomite is going to have to do their best to stop it, and that's an amazing 5P to start this comeback, but not able to get the pressure afterwards. Dolomite just not getting these full conversions that they need. But it's just really scary when you're dealing with Milia. And a great 6P from Vincent as well. The PRC coming through into a cross-up. And another cross-up
too.
But a great JH. But these 6Ps, Dolomite just not making their pressure resilient enough to these 6Ps. And Dolomite 6Ps aren't working in return.
Definitely some unfamiliar. They're not familiar with this matchup. Hopefully they can turn it around. You know, hopefully get the download in to keep the game going.
Yeah, but finally Dolomite starting some pressure off, but doesn't matter. Vincent blocking it all as well, showing that, you know, they might be a demon on the offense, but they're a demon on defense as well. The Capel catching Dolomite, trying to 6P, I imagine. That's going to be a wall break. Positive bonus for Milia here. She spends meter very well, so this is really scary. gets caught pressing something. I don't know what it is, but now you have to block high, low, left, right, and you don't end up blocking it. Forced to burst. And Vincent just one hit away here. The 6P, I lied, 2 hits away. The 6P is not enough, but the Capel arose to your forehead. And Vincent is going...
even with all the changes, Capel's still going strong. Showing it, like, representing it, and showing how good of a move it still is.
Yeah, I mean, it just is. It's an amazing move, right? They reduced the recovery this patch, and it is, strong as it's always been. Gonna be sending Dolomite down to that loser's bracket. Vincent moving on to fight Watchtoe in this winner's finals. We're gonna be seeing Dolomite later on in this bracket, but great games to both players. That was a fantastic set, but Vincent, running away with the lead there and keeping the momentum going. But I believe...
Waiting. Yeah, it's a Slayer game right now, right?
Yeah, next up, I think it should be Oddity versus Conjuring.
Do we have Oddity on stage? Do we know who they play?
Well,
Okay.
yeah, now we see it's Vincent, if you can hop off, yeah. There we go. Got Eno versus Slayer. Another matchup I've rarely ever seen. But we'll see who has the advantage here. I have seen Oddity play before. Very strong Eno player. And of course we saw Conjuring play earlier. No, that is the next game. Or no, I guess it... Well, whatever. They're just going with it.
Right, fuck it. We do it live!
Yeah, we're rolling with it. Who cares? So we're going here. Milia versus May. A matchup that I think Milia players hate. But, one that I've seen overcome before. I've seen a lot of Walter versus Muffins. So I've watched this matchup quite a bit. And, Vincent putting in so much work in the start here, getting so many good hits. But Watchtoe finally fighting out of that corner. Man, that 6P into the tandem top, not doing quite enough damage, but the JH going to go right over that beach ball, get the round for Vincent.
We appreciate you, Death Knife. We appreciate all our sharks out there eating internet cables undersea. Just making sure these bracket situations can happen.
Exactly,
you're the backbone. Exactly. You're the backbone of disconnection issues.
It's a thankless job, but
it's a thankless job. But someone has to do it.
Exactly. Speaking of sea creatures that cause a little bit of mischief, May putting in so much work right now. The Orca coming through. That's a little bit more than a little bit of mischief.
Hitbox.
Yeah. The throw into the corner here. The May pressure coming through, but that 2D not close enough to punish that 6B. And the JS going so far, getting that counter hit. The low coming through. What's the mix here?
Oh, amazing Lucy.
Yeah, what a backdash to go through the Artemis and get the close slash punish. Amazing work to watch, though. Tying this up right here. But Vincent is building a lot of burst right now. Catching with an overhead. Gonna be able to convert straight into the corner here. Probably gonna, spend that blue wild assault to get the pressure here. This is so huge. So much pressure. The mix coming through. Double overhead. Gets caught reaching.
Oh, strange backwards close slash. Vincent really showing, even in a matchup that is tough for Milia, showing a lot of their prowess and power. Keeping up, and Watchtoe has a bit of a download on this, but even then, it's really still anyone's game, even in the very beginning. Oh, that damage was so good, but it was so close, not a wall break, and unfortunately, Vincent took it back.
Yeah. Vincent able to hold on to that game, Watchtoe, kind of getting a little bit dominated in that first game, but able to bring things back together. But Vincent not content letting Watchtoe swing the tie back in their favor. Going up 1-0 right now in this winner's finals. Showing some really strong mix-ups, some really strong neutral, and especially some really strong block strings. Keeping Watchtoe locked down. Milia, a character not very well known for her block strings. Ooh. But gets caught by 6P there.
Ooh, here comes the damage. Oh, it dropped, but that was so close. That could have potentially been a kill.
Yup, but this is going to end up being that kill that Watchtoe really needed. The Dolphin doing just enough damage. And Vincent just backdashing, doesn't want to deal with any of May's nonsense. I get it. A tick throw coming through, though. Decides to go for that really dangerous reset. I like it a lot, especially when you need to reset right into a low. Watchtoe not fuzzy jumping there. Ooh. Probably trying to bait that burst, but that burst is going to end up putting you in the corner right now. That's so scary. You're versus May here. You're building up that risk. Yeah, you need to spend the YRC, but you block the Orca Super. This should be able to kill if you have the confirm, but decides to reset instead. Maybe a little bit overzealous, but you know what? It works out. You get the cross up there with the Capel into JH.
You got to be careful, especially with Millia. She knows it cannot be in a situation in the corner with May. May in a corner just turns those Dolphins into a shark, and you cannot let that keep going. Millia is very great at keeping the May out, knowing when to jab, knowing when to like press back. Really great showing of like matchup knowledge.
Yup. Here we go. That terrifying Millia pressure starting. The side switch mix up coming through, and also wall break. Ooh, gets caught mashing throw.
Potential burst bait.
Yeah, and the burst bait does come through. Amazing work to Vincent there for recognizing the opportunity. Going up 2-0 here. Watchtoe not quite ready for like the full depth of mix-ups and neutral approaches that Vincent has been throwing out here. Probably not as familiar with this matchup as Vincent is.
Really a sidewind. I kind of expected the match to go a little bit differently here. So this is really entertaining to see. If we don't see a May in top 2, I'm gonna be really surprised by that. But I guess we're going to this world.
Maybe, but Watchtoe does have a chance to make this work.
Ooh. Great burst space. Amazing burst space.
Yeah, not with bursts like that though. Vincent gonna take advantage of that so well, and the side switch Capel was so smart. Air backdash Capel to stay same side. Just so smart. And another side switch right there. The counter at JH.
Not keep with the cross-ups. This dubious, violent evil.
Through.
Vincent really pulling every card that they have right now, and May just cannot keep up with it. This is too much. This is too much mix to deal with.
And Vincent still has a burst to work with here. Just get out of that pressure immediately. The 6B coming through. Such great anti-airs on the side of Vincent, but the up Dolphin is going to smoke Millia from doing any sort of funny business. The far slash anti-airs, you see something new every day. Sometimes it just happens, I guess. Ooh, okay, nice. The PRC to save themselves from that unfortunate whiff.
Great conversion, and that is it for the round. I think for the most part, May has a really good seeing of how to fight this matchup. It's really up to her to pull it back. This will be game point for Vincent if they manage to get this round. Really close, really scary, and as I say, classic May counter hit, half of Millia's HP.
Yeah,
still somehow in a really good spot for Millia.
Oh, that JD was so smart, and this 5D should be death. Yup. And a perfect Watchtoe. Yeah, Watchtoe. You know, we were thinking it could be over, but pulling out a perfect to make a really big statement here that they, you know, maybe those were data games. They were data rounds. Took a second, you know, thought. It's like, okay, I got this.
Even with all this going on, you know, you can do a million mix-ups on May. You can pull out any crazy tech that you've never seen before, and still May can get that close dash on you, and it's over. Especially on Millia health. On Millia time and Millia day and saying, you know, you're just dying. There's no way of getting out of that. Exactly. So Millia's really aggressive, not letting May play at all.
Wow, what a dangerous burst, but ends up working out in their favor. You know, one of the things we've been noticing throughout the set is that Vincent has not been getting hit by those big May hits, but Watchtoe finally found a way to get Vincent to press in these scary situations. But Vincent now, you know, had a second to think, now is really playing that reserved style that we saw in the previous games. Bad Moon not going to be enough to kill. Millia damage coming through. of course. And the side switch JH has not been blocked a single time by Watchtoe. And I mean, it makes sense. It's so tough to react to, and so tough to recognize when it's coming out.
Great burst.
Yeah, but unfortunate H tandem top there. A little bit overzealous. And that move does have so much startup and so much recovery.
A lot of greed coming out here. Hopefully, Millie's trying to get her one instance back. Did not go for the burst bait and is paying very big for that.
Yeah, not quite enough to kill, but that's still a lot of damage coming through.
Yeah, that's enough to secure a round. Though the illustrious 2K2D into a side swap and taking corner into another side swap and setting up for another HS, I assume. Yep, there we go. Oh, but unfortunately, May had the illustrious and evil Orca.
Yup,
able to take that out.
Not quite ready to do a safe jump there. Probably could have. Ooh, the Capel to beat the 6P. Vincent's usage of Capel has been so good, and the random Iron Savior hair card just send it. These Capels are putting in so much work.
No one sees it coming. No one ever sees the meaty hair car, you know?
Yeah, are we playing like plus R out here? That was like the low mix back in the day. I've never seen meaty hair car in this game though. The 2P PRC Watchtoe trying to take zero risks here, but you might be forced to if you want to win this game. And the side switch Bad Moon.
Vincent taking the game unexpected. Honestly, for me, I did not expect the match to go this way. But now, you know, Vincent moves on to grand finals, and we move into the next games right before to see who can go against them.
Yeah, Vincent punched their ticket into grand finals winner's side, knocking Watchtoe, who was so dominant throughout this entire winner's side, in terrifying characters. But we're gonna have to see. Have to get through this this Dolomite Conjuring game. This will be Eno versus Slayer. You know, clutching it out and securing, you know, a rematch. We saw this in winner's side, in winner's finals. Vincent versus Watchtoe. It was 3-1 Vincent. But before we get into that, you know, I want to give a great job to Dolomite for making it to third place. Really great play this entire tournament.
A lot of amazing fighters today. For a 16-player bracket, you know, this has been some really incredible games.
Yeah,
I'm very well surprised. This is my first time actually being here for an Aspiring Champions. Usually I miss it because I'm busy. So this is a great bracket.
Yeah, it is. It is dope. It's been a blast to commentate it. I'm very excited to commentate this grand finals, May versus Milia.
Yeah, Watchtoe
Vincent
is on
versus
losers. They're going to have to reverse this. Though I think Watchtoe has all the resources in play to get this reverse sweep. It's really up to how she's adapted. She's had spent some time in losers to really hone what she can do against Milia. Though Milia's also had a lot of time to lab, if we're being real, against a specific character and see what they can find out to stop specifically May offense.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, Vincent was able to show really clearly that they have the matchup knowledge in the previous set. So really the onus is on Watchtoe to respond back. Because if they play like they did in Winners Finals, it's going to end up like Winners Finals, and Vincent is going to end up winning. Let's see what Watchtoe has in terms of adaptations here. Oh, the Capel, just so strong. One of the best moves in the whole game. And Watchtoe gets caught low. This won't be enough to kill.
Good damage
to some meter to work with here.
Millie's really afraid. They really just don't want to get hit by a random dolphin, which is the worst possible thing that can happen right now. Because May could just steal her turn back. Oh, speaking of which...
Oh, man. What an unfortunate burst, right? The worst thing that can happen there was probably that you lose the round and you lose the burst. Vincent gonna have to go into this second round with no burst to Watchtoe's full burst.
It's really nice to see Watchtoe have their legs in this match. You know, they're showing that I can keep up and I can keep my resources, make sure I can get my damage in. It's really up to how Watchtoe can keep their defensive pressure up here, because they have the offense for this matchup. It's really just keeping defensive against Emilia, who has just so much unpredictable mix and crossups from the last time they fought.
Yeah, but what an air throw from Vincent,
unfortunate.
a great back throw here. Goes for the side switch and decides to burst bait. This could cost you, but you do have such a life lead here that hopefully it won't. And yeah, that JH, again, those side switch JHs just have always worked against Washito. They have not developed the counterplay to it quite yet.
Amazing
nice burst bait finally works out in the favor of Vincent. Been burst baiting this whole time, but it finally works. Septum Voice is going to send Washito through the wall, and just one or two more hits.
This might just be game set.
Let's see.
Oh, unfortunately, I think if they used their other super, it would have killed. But
yeah, Japanese guts coming through. Nice throw tech on the side of Wachito, though. These JS is just flying through, but the JP from the side of Vincent. Vincent's control of the airspace has been so strong this entire set. Even throughout all of their games, the air-to-air JPs have just been amazing.
Even though Washito has been trying to keep up with defense and make sure they get their hits in, you could tell that like Vincent plays like they play this player a lot. You know, they have like they have excellent reads on Washito, able to jab them whenever they can, keep them in the corner and keep them in the mix for the whole time. It's been really astounding. They've done an excellent job working their way up the winner's bracket. And, you know, Washito's got a whole big road ahead of them. And if they're going to keep clearing to try to get to the loser's reset.
Yeah. Let's do this round start. Yeah, neither player wants to do anything round start. They're just so afraid. And I mean, I get it, right? The tournament is on the line here. The 2T going underneath the far slash. What amazing awareness, decision making. I don't even know what to call that.
Very happy game. They're both flying just around, you know, taking the airspace, trying to see who can keep it the most. And I mean, honestly, it's mostly Milia. Milia's mostly holding the airspace. If we're being real here.
Queen of the air, after all. Oh, what a great speed though. Washito finally anti-airing one of those cross-up JHs.
You could feel the nerve on Washito right now on the unfortunate drop. This might be enough for Sonic. That's a Sonic Fox is the name. Almost enough for Vincent to get a wall break, but sadly no. Keeping up the mix and the cross-ups that Washito just cannot keep up with.
Nice. Goes for the double into the low and goes for another cross-up right there. Again, you know,
Vincent's crazy.
Yeah, Vincent's been showing just, again, so many different mix-ups. You know, some players, they'll default between like 2 or 3 mix-ups, but Vincent has such a deep bag of mix-ups to pull from and is using them at any opportunity they can. But what's a bag of mix-ups to some damage? May doing 50% there off such a small hit, but that's the May name of the game. This is scary though for both players. They're both around like 1 hit away from death.
This is like one of the most mobile matches I've ever seen. Milia is just zooming around. She owns this airspace. Washito has a lot of work for him if he wants to keep it back and try to get his sweep back. It's looking pretty rough. For the most part, Vincent has the download. They know what Washito's going to go for. They know their habits and they know how to keep them in pressure. So Washito has a really big uphill climb if they're hoping to get this.
For sure. Again, I mean, just Vincent is not leaving very many opportunities for any punishment in their neutral gameplay. Their neutral is so safe, so clean, and so smart. And Wachito's just, you know, just can't figure out what to do about it. You know, hasn't challenged in the air. There's been 1 6P in this entire set, and it worked out amazing. If Wachito wants to win this, we're going to have to see more of that. And let's see. We're going into this. This could be the final game. Vincent up 2-0 right now. But Wachito wants more than anything to get this game. One thing at a time, and an amazing air-to-air to JH2. It's so scary to interact with Vincent in this set. Throw pressure, the side switch into a low, into another side switch. These
Washito cannot keep up these cross-up. What a wall break! Up to the final point, this is potentially game point for Vincent.
It potentially is. If Wachito doesn't lock in right now, this could be the end. Does have a burst to work with, though. Yeah, that's a burst right here. But baits the burst. Vincent's burst baits have been really on point this set. Here's some mix-ups for you. Another mix, double overhead. This won't kill. You are one hit away. Watchtoe with only 50 bursts to their name. Not much to work with here, especially when this is the tournament. A side switch and a perfect and an amazing statement from Vincent. Taking this tournament 3-0 over Watchtoe. Amazing work.
Amazing games played today. That was an excellent final set. That was a great games for the entire bracket. Vincent honestly was I feel like the underdog for half of this for me. I did not think they would get all the way up against Watchtoe and for the final sets to play like that. Though congratulations for every player, especially Watchtoe for climbing up the loser bracket to get back up into this final game. Even if it didn't go the way they wanted, it was still a hard grind. Top two for both players. It's amazing. And great sets today.
Yeah, that was just
bracket. Both had amazing history. Both won their first games in winners and won. I think both of them won their first games in winners and swept all the way up to finals.
Yeah, they just they kept winning. They looked, basically unstoppable versus any player besides each other. And even Vincent in that last game looked unstoppable versus Watchtoe. It was just so well played and didn't give Watchtoe even an opportunity to get those big hits that May is known for, right? Like, you'd expect in a May versus Million matchup, at some point there would be like a TOD or something. Nothing even close in this set because of how clean the neutral being played was. But with that being said, amazing work to Watchtoe as well for making it this far. Again, look completely unstoppable versus basically every player in this bracket and put up a really good fight versus Vincent as well. Just amazing play all around, a fantastic grand finals. And GG's to both players. Thank you for entering. Congratulations, Vincent, on your first place victory, and Watchtoe on your second.